All right, it's Bill here. Here's my thoughts on a 5-2 win for the Toronto Maple Leafs with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let me first start prime. I was able to figure it out, so I got home from darts. The game was probably still going on when I got home, but then, I was clicking. I was a little bit worried about going live. I was going to wait till the game ended and I was able to avoid the score for the most part. Someone at the freaking darts mentioned a score, so I knew it was 4-1 either way. I didn't know who it was for, but I was able to avoid most of it. But then obviously when the Leafs went up 2-1, I kind of suspected what was going to happen in the next two goals. But overall, prime wasn't horrible. I like my PVR with my skip for 30 seconds. That's a beautiful thing. Versus a fast forward, so I fast forwarded, went too far, figured it out. Was able to not watch the intermissions, but I spent probably about 2 hours watching the game after darts, when typically if I got a PVR, I can get it done in an hour and 10 minutes. But anyways, from my, first of all, thoughts on prime. I wasn't driven nuts by the announcers. Like, I wasn't. I think it was Jody Shelley. He obviously knew Berube. He kept telling me he knew Berube. But I don't know who the play-by-play guy is. I should have probably looked it up before I did the video, but I thought it was pretty well done. I wasn't driven crazy like I am most of the time with, certainly with the Sportsnet nonsense. But overall game, what a start. There's differences that I see between a Berube coach team now and a Keith coach team. We're 6 games in. You can start to see some of the differences. Certainly the way that they dump it in. Like, the Leafs are dumping it in all the time. They're going to get the puck. That was not what they did with Keith. They circled back. They did the, I guess you call it east-west versus north-south. There's a lot of north-south with Berube's game, which means you got to go in and get the puck. And for the most part, there's a couple players on the team that can do that. So it's working pretty good. But the starts. The Leafs started awesome. It was a great start to the game. That didn't happen with Keith. Now, there's still things that happen in the Leafs game that they haven't erased. We'll get into some of them later. But I thought overall, great start to the game. And of course, you pick up the first goal. And I got to think the happiest person in the world is William Nylander for not having to play with Johnny T anymore, because it's showing. McMahon goes in the corner, grabs the puck, bounces around to Domi. Domi, beautiful pass to Nylander, and you're up 1-0. This is a great start to the game. And they kept it rolling. And about halfway through the game, Tampa Bay decided to play, and Jake McCabe brought out his scarecrow moment. How many times last year, this hasn't happened this year, where a person gets behind the Leafs defense. That happened a lot last year. There was a lot of plays where the Leafs had the first or second assist on the goal. Now, they actually scored the goal in this one. But I don't really think they scored the goal. It was the play. But it was a fantastic pass. I think it was from Hedman. But again, Benoit McCabe. Now, it really was McCabe who should have been. He was the one looking behind. He saw him. How do you let this happen? You can't let guys in behind you. It can't be breakaways. We'll talk about the breakaway Nyes had. That was a different thing. But the breakaway, you can't let guys behind you. And Nick Paul makes a move. Stolarz, who, absolutely awesome game. We'll get into that in just a sec. But Stolarz just makes a save. And, of course, Benoit's doing an extra effort, which is what Benoit does. And next thing you know, it bounces off him. It's in the nets 1-1. First period ended 1-1. I probably thought it was a fair result. And the only reason I say that is the Leafs dominated for the first little bit, but Tampa Bay started to take that game over a little bit. Then we get into the second period. And so I think we got Shesterkin last game, as people say. Shesterkin, had a Shesterkin, a verb. Did we do like a spell to Vasilevsky? Vasilevsky played awful against the Leafs in the playoffs. And is there something there with Vasilevsky and the Toronto Maple Leafs? Like, he was the reincarnation of Peter Ing in that second period, which is not a bad thing if you're a Leaf fan. But first of all, it starts off with a power play, and they actually got the zone. Now, that time when they win the zone, they didn't go to Johnny T, where pucks go to die. When they went to Johnny T, the puck goes to die. This time, they went to Nylander. Puck didn't die. And by the way, Stolarz, my only complaint about Stolarz this entire year is the way he handled the puck, and then he did that. He made an amazing pass. I think it went to Marner to Nylander, back to Marner. Shot, lays the puck down, right in between I don't know what Vasilevsky's doing. He's not even on the ice. The puck's sitting in between his legs. And Matthews bangs it home for a 2-0 or 2-1 lead. And at that point, I thought the Leafs again started to dominate. That's how the domination piece. And then you had another great play by Bobby McMahon, which led to a Nylander goal. And again, I don't know. Petering between, maybe it was Bester. I don't know who I'm looking for, but that's right in between the legs. Now, it was a great play. McMahon sacrificed his body to make that play. Like, it was just a great play by Bobby McMahon. It goes to Nylander, and Nylander just puts it between his legs. I don't think I've seen Vasilevsky give up too many of those goals. And speaking of bad goals, the next one, Max Pacioretty back in the lineup. Now, I will say, I watched Max throw some hits last night. I don't think he's a third-line player, but certainly Brewbase told him the only way he's going to be in the lineup is he hit, because he did go out of his way to hit people last night. And Max Pacioretty's, I don't know how that goes in. From Johnny T. It was the slowest building play ever. And shoots at 4-1, and of course, I think Cooper had seen enough. He was put in the other goal, Janssen. And then the Leafs get a, kind of a break. It was a nice play by Marner off the boards. Again, they're going north-south with everything. But it was a backhand off the boards. But at least he was getting it out of the zone, and it looked like the two Tampa Bay guys clicked heels, and it was a great move by Nye. Nyes looked up, and I thought, don't pass the puck. And then he did a nice little toe drag and made it 5-1. And at least we're doing good. But I guess maybe I think it was before that. Was it after they had the 5-on-3? When was the 5-on-3? No, they had the 5-on-3 after the fourth goal and before the fifth. The 5-on-3, Stolarz stood on his head. There are some saves there that are just ridiculous. I talked about Joseph Wall at the beginning of the year, and I was very happy. If you remember, I'm very happy that they got Stolarz. I thought he'd be an adequate backup. Backup? If that's our backup, that's a friggin' starter. Wow. Now, he's going to have a bad game. I get it. He's going to have a bad game. I don't care. Stolarz has been... we got Shesterkin. I think the Lightning got Stolarzed last night. That 5-on-3 was amazing. A goal there makes it 4-2, 4-3. You don't know what's going to happen at that point. And, of course, Tampa Bay's got one of the most dynamite power plays. Everything runs through Kucherov. It's like the Ovechkin when he was doing this thing. You know where it's going, but it still goes. There's still great chances are generated. There was a couple shot blocks. Again, Tana blocking shots. There's a team toughness, and I'm going to get into that in just a sec. But the Leafs played tough. They actually played tough. I don't know how to think about that because it's been a while, but that was actually a tough game. They played Tampa Bay tough. Anyways, I should mention that 5-on-3 was just dynamite. Just great stuff out there by Stolarz. Stand on his head, first star, second star, and third star. And then the third period, again, I was waiting. At the time it was 5-2 or 5-1. I'm sitting there going, "Oh, the Leafs going to stay back," and they actually didn't. They did not stay back. They weren't on their heels. They pushed it forward. I think the shots were 10-2 for the Leafs. That's another difference I see with the Leafs. They are pushing the play when they're in the lead. They didn't do that against the Kings. They definitely did it against Tampa Bay. There was a couple shifts that they just in the zone, just playing around, and I thought Johansson played awesome. This game could have got really out of hand. And then, I don't know, Max Domi does what Max Domi's or does what Domi's do. Again, we're going to team toughness in just a second, but it's just silly stuff. I don't know. He gets an extra 2 minutes, and Kucherov, finally, they bury it on the power play. And it's 5-2. Tampa Bay started bringing it on, but at the end of the day, the Leafs were able to survive, and then it should have been 6-2. Ref, I don't know, hand pass. Didn't know the hand pass. When you touch, you can pass it to yourself. But at the end of the day, you're really going to complain over a 6. If they're going to take away a goal from us this year, take away that one, okay? That's fine. And don't take it away when it's a 2-2 game and we make it 3-2. That's where you're struggling. But if you're going to take a goal, okay, fair enough. Again, you might want to ask the ref what he looked right there. Anyways, he missed it. Who cares? 5-2 win. A couple things I want to mention. The team toughness. Ryan Reeves was not in the lineup tonight. Ryan Reeves was the one that came out for Max Pacioretty. Now, I'm waiting for Kelly Oncock and Dewar to come back because I think they're just better players. But I thought Ekman-Larsson played a game. A tough game. McMahon played a tough game. Nice. Whew. If that man had any touch, he reminds me of Zach Hyman, and that ain't a bad thing. He's in there banging, getting pucks. But Larson stood out in terms of he played mean. This is good. McCabe had a little meanness to his game. Riley never gonna have a meanness to his game. Tanev, a little mean. But Larson with the back check, I'll take that penalty every day, twice on Tuesdays. Jake Gensel woke up. Jake Gensel gave him a little shot at the end of the second period, and it's 5-2. That's your response. This is good. This is something the Leafs didn't have. And Ryan Reeves was not in the lineup, and I thought the Leafs played tough. They played tougher than they did against the Rangers without Ryan Reeves in the lineup. See, Ryan Reeves doesn't make the team tougher. He makes the team worse, not tougher. That was nice meanness. Benoit being mean. At the end of the game, having a little shenanigans. Perfect. The Leafs were walkovers. I remember when Steven Stamkos was ragdolling Matthews. That ain't going to happen now, and you don't need Ryan Reeves on the ice. I thought it was just a really overall, probably the best effort I've seen this year. It was a good game. And I thought Tampa Bay didn't play bad. They had Peter Ing in net. That cost them. But I thought Johansson made some great saves in the third period, so it probably balances out. Anyway, great game. Prime, I liked it. Again, I heard great things about the intermission. Matt Sundin was on. I would have fast-forwarded that anyway. So, but at the end of the day, that's a good win. That's a good divisional win. They play Columbus tonight. Hopefully, I heard every team in the NHL is playing tonight, which is great. But don't let down on Columbus. You're at Columbus. They're waiting for you. There's the trap game, whatever they call it. Hopefully this is different, and they bring the energy. I mean, at the end of the day, the Leafs did spread out the ice time at the end of the day of the game pretty good. So hopefully they're rested and they take out Columbus. I'll talk to you later today. I will be watching this game live, so I'll be able to do it quickly. All right, cheers. Bye.